Welcome to Tracking Tropics on the 16th of July 2025. We're continuing to watch Invest 93L, which has already entered the Gulf of Mexico in the last 12 hours and is bringing some slight rainfall to the states around the Gulf Coast, but the system is kind of struggling a bit at this very moment. So take a look at the NHC advisory, same as yesterday. Chances of it developing into a tropical cyclone in the next 2 and 7 days remains at 40%, which is considered as medium chance. The official location given by the NHC of the center of the system is still located inside the panhandle of Florida, even though there's nearly no convection developing nearly anywhere in that center of the storm. And the cone of possibility of tropical cyclone development still remains largely to the northern part of the Gulf and the coastline of the states around the Gulf, stretching from Florida Panhandle to Louisiana's southern tip. Currently has winds of 30 miles per hour and a minimum pressure of 1,012 millibars. So one of the most decisive factors of the system's fate still remains of the topic on whether it will take a track more towards the south, which allows it to spend longer time in the Gulf, absorbing that energy given by the warm sea surface temperature and develop into something more significant, or whether it will remain inland or just being really close offshore and has a limited space of development. And we will get into that more later. So before that, let's look at the 6-hour radar imagery, Here we can see some strong thunderstorms and intense rainfall developing towards the southern side of the system, occasionally hitting the southern part of Louisiana, bringing some rainfall and possibly some flash flood in there. But overall, the strong rainfall particularly, is being kept offshore at the moment, which is very good news. And Florida, which has been getting some strong storms and rainfall yesterday, looks to have escaped this and have more clear skies today, which is another great news. Towards the northern side of the image, we can just make out whereabout the official center is located. You can see some weak rainfall and convection developing inside the panhandle near the city of Tallahassee, which again is the center is not very visible because there isn't really any strong convection developing. But towards the south, there could be some slight developing of something else. If you look at the surface wind analysis, you can see inside the Gulf, there is an area that has flats rotating around it, and this could be a sign of a new center trying to form and get itself rotating. So at the moment, it is early doors to say that this will absolutely be a new center, but it's still something that we can be worth noticing about, something new that could make a change to the system's future. Possibly a trajectory more towards the south into the Gulf of Mexico. But for this new potential center to fully get itself going and replace the old center, it will still take a bit more time, a bit more effort, and at this moment it's still quite disorganized, so it is worth noticing, but let's not jump to the conclusion now. So next up, let's look at the satellite imagery. We can see here the 93L strong convection towards the south continues to bring some really strong rainfall towards the northern part of the Gulf. Other than that, it's not really affecting land at the moment. You can see just when some new convection gets blown up or flared up from the center, it immediately gets pushed to the southwestern direction, showing strong signs of some wind shear coming from the northern part of the storm is affecting its organization for quite a bit. And if we look at the future radar forecast here, this is very important because regardless of the storm's development, some strong rainfall could still be seen over parts of the states around the Gulf, especially towards the southern side of the states. Here we can see the National Weather Service has already issued a flood watch, I believe, towards the southern side of Louisiana, including big cities like New Orleans, and also issued it against the southern side of Mississippi. So we're expecting 93L will shift towards a more northerly track in the next 1 to 2 days, then it will also bring the strong rainfall that is located towards the south of this system with it, and then it will bring it into the states that is situated around the Gulf Coast, bringing some strong rainfall there. And we believe the strongest rainfall will come at Thursday afternoon towards the earlier moments of Friday. Then towards Saturday, it will pretty much be gone, and then the skies will be clear again, fortunately. So we mainly have to be cautious on Thursday and Friday, where some localized flooding could happen in the region. Next up, we can look at the computer model's forecast. The disagreement of this model has obviously been thinned down quite a lot as the storm moves into the Gulf of Mexico. At the moment, we can see most models are saying that it will keep itself pretty close to shore, which is much more closer than what some models are saying yesterday, where some of them expect it to enter the Gulf of Mexico, stay there a bit longer, then move back north and hit the Gulf Coast. Not the same image today. Most models expecting it would just take a western track and probably hit Louisiana and Mississippi, then just dissipate inland. So if 93L follow this track and a new center doesn't form towards the south of the where the thunderstorms are, which will change the track, by the way, if that happens. But if that doesn't happen, and this is the track it takes, the space for this system to develop will be very, very limited, because obviously there is the barrier of landmass stopping it from organizing itself, and it will also struggle to absorb the energy it needs to organize itself, given by the warm sea surface temperature from the Gulf of Mexico. And then along with the wind shear, it probably won't even develop into a tropical depression in this case. And the computer models are seemingly agreeing with this. See, in the intensity forecast, most models expecting it to remain below 30 knots of winds, which is below tropical depression. And you have got that one or two model that is being a bit more aggressive with their forecast, expecting to become a mid-end tropical depression or even the tropical storm. But most models are saying that it will remain as possibly a low-end tropical depression or even just a low-pressure area. Wind shear-wise, it is expected to drop below 10 knots tomorrow, and that will be the lowest out of this week. And after that, it will increase again back to a mid-range status. So wind shear wise, tomorrow is the best time for 93L, and if it wants to organize itself, it will have to do it tomorrow. We can also look at the moisture satellite imagery. We can see quite a few spots of dry air surrounding the system, making it harder to organize itself, particularly towards the northern side of the system, where the dry air is making it hard to develop any sort of convection around that place. Having said all of that, the rainfall 93L is going to bring still going to be an issue. So starting from tomorrow, obviously the rainfall is going to start moving in to states like Louisiana and Mississippi, and there the rainfall will begin to accumulate up, as you can see on the graph. In some places could reach 1.5 to 2 inches. Some places could experience some localized flooding, but in general it's nothing to panic about, as if a bigger scale of flooding is to happen, the rainfall has to be at least up to 3 to 4 inch for that to have a chance. So, got to be cautious, but don't need to overly panic about this. And this is Tracker Tropics today, and we will see you soon.